Hello, and welcome to day 17 of 30 days of Q&A, where today I'm talking about time management and answering the question, how can I find more time to get everything done? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Janine Esperand and I'm the founder of Lightbox Coaching, where I help women to return to work with confidence and build careers that they love whilst raising a family. So today we're going to talk about time management. And I know that it's a topic that comes up a lot and people talk about it a lot. So I'd love to hear from you. Is this something that you struggle with? When you're juggling work and family life, do you find yourself saying, how do I find the time to fit it all in? Or saying, I don't have the time? So type 1 in the comments if you can resonate with that. Okay, so I'm going to share with you 3 things around time management that you should think about and then possibly implement. So the first thing I want you to think about is whether or not the saying that you're using, I don't have enough time, is actually true. So there has been occasions where my husband's come home and I haven't done the dishes and the house might be a bit messy because I've been looking after the kids, and he says, oh, you didn't do the dishes, and I say, I didn't have time. But in reality, I just came back from a play date. So it's not that I didn't have time, it's that I didn't prioritize doing the dishes or cleaning up because I wanted to go on the play date with my son. So we can do this a lot on our day to day. We say we don't have time, but what we're really saying is that we're not prioritizing those things that we're saying we don't have time to do. So the next time you say I don't have time to do something, I want you to think about whether that's actually true or whether you're not prioritizing it. And if you're not prioritizing it, ask yourself why. Should you be? Or is it something that you just don't want to be doing, and therefore do you need to delegate it, or do you need to find another way to manage that task? So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is to start to pay attention to how you are spending your time. So I'm gonna share with you an exercise that I share with my private clients that I work with. And it's really useful to do because it highlights where you may be losing time and not realizing. So let's look at some numbers. So in a month, there are 720 hours in a month. And if you say that you sleep 8 hours a day and you do 8 hours times 30, that's 240 hours. So this is based on a 30 day month. So if you take the 240 away from the 720, you're left with 480 hours that you're awake. That sounds like a lot of time, doesn't it? 480 hours. So how are you spending that 480 hours? So there's lots of things that you have to get done in your day. There's lots of activities that you do. There's lots of tasks that you do. But if you spend some time thinking about those 480 hours and thinking about how that breaks down, how much time am I spending doing different tasks, then you may well find that there's quite a lot of time left over. And if when you do the calculation there's quite a lot of time left over, but you feel like you don't have a lot of time, then there must be something that's sucking your time. So for example, things like social media, where you jump on your phone and you say you're just going to scroll and you're going to check something, and then an hour goes past and you're still on Facebook, or other things that may take a lot of time, so watching TV or just activities that you might be in the habit of doing that you're not paying attention to in terms of how much time it's taking up. So the whole process of doing this time audit takes some time, but I would encourage you to do that if you're feeling like you're just losing time and you don't know where it's going. So take a few days to kind of do a time audit. So as you're going through tasks, be intentional and be mindful of how long you're spending on them, and then you can start writing it down, and you can start totting up how much time it's taking you to do different things. And then once you've done that and you've completed the time audit, then you can look at everything and see where you need to make some shifts and some adjustments. So that's an activity that I would encourage you to do. And then the other thing is to think about some practical adjustments that you could make. So once you've done the time audit, if you do feel like you need to make some changes, there's also some practical things you can think about. So one example, if you're like me and you don't like doing dishes, you may well have a whole load of dishes in your cupboard, and every time you prepare a meal or you need to eat your next meal, you might take out new dishes. And so I realized that we were doing that. We were just taking more dishes out, and therefore when it came to the time to wash up, there was a mountain of dishes. So what I did was remove so many dishes. So instead of having 10 dishes, I removed the surplus and just had 4. So that we would have the four, we would use them, and then we'd wash them up, which meant that saved me a lot of time because then I weren't washing those extra dishes. So I put them away in a cupboard, and when we have people come round, I take those out, and then we can use them. So that's just a small thing that I did, but that same principle can apply in other areas. You know, have you got so much in terms of clothing that you're not actually needing, and so you're creating for yourself lots and lots of laundry when actually you could scale down and only have a certain number of items that are in circulation, that you need to wear and that your family need to wear. So think about ways that you can, you know, reduce the time spent doing those things that are massive tasks, things that take a lot of time. So that's the third thing. So to summarize, first thing you want to do is consider whether or not you do really have time but you're not prioritizing. The second thing you want to do is a time audit. So you want to take some time to figure out what are you doing with those 480 hours every month, and then the next thing is to think about any practical tweaks you can make to create more time so you're not spending time on the things that you don't really want to be doing. I hope you found this useful. I'll be back again on day 18 of 30 days of Q&A. And if you have found this useful, do share it with your friends, anyone who is going through job transitions, who's job searching, or who is working out the juggle between work and family life, or thinking about returning to work. These tips are going to be useful for them. And as you know, I've been doing this series for the last 17 days and we're going up to 30 days, so I've got more to share. So do tell them about this, and I hope you'll join me again. I will post a link in the comments for you to come and join me in my private Facebook group, the Careers Beyond Motherhood community, because it'd be great to continue this conversation and hang out with you there. All right, that's all from me today. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.